Hi everyone and welcome to this year's STARS Awards. It's a bit of a strange one. As you know, we're not able, as we would normally do, to be meeting in person, to be congratulating each other, shaking each other's hands in terms of the awards and the nominations that we've got today. We've got some fantastic nominations for the awards, as we always do, but of course this year is an unprecedented year. People have continued to achieve, continue to do incredible things, but actually in a remote way, in a way which is perhaps not what we would wish to do, but where we've managed to get great results anyway. So I'd like to thank everybody who's nominated people, and of course to everybody who has been nominated. Just getting to this stage is a real achievement. Good luck to you. I look forward to the time when I can meet up with you and say well done.
So as Year 1 tutor, I can safely say that Karen has a huge impact on the first years and therefore on their whole educational experience, because first year is so fundamental. So many different examples that I could call upon because Karen is so creative and so driven and so passionate. But one example that I would like to draw on from a very recent past is that she actually organised a simulated session for every single one of our first years to be involved in the Hydra Suite. And the atmosphere afterwards was nothing short of electric. The students were buzzing about it. They felt invigorated, they felt empowered, and they felt excited for their futures. That's just magic. It's just magic, and she did that. She did that single-handedly, and she ran almost a week of sessions on top of her normal workload. And I don't think she realises just about how wonderful that impact was and how long-lasting that impact will be on the students. She is always so creative, so caring, so nurturing, just wonderful really, and we all benefit from having her around.
I nominated Lindsay Muir-Kelt for the Most Creative Team or Person STARS Recognition Award to recognise the fantastic new pathways she's developed for USW and partner college staff to achieve fellowship of the Higher Education Academy. While claim making isn't hard, people can find getting started difficult. So having undertaken a careful evaluation and listening to what people found difficult, Lindsay developed a suite of different pathways. Recognising that increasing numbers of staff teach USW courses all over the world, Lindsay also developed and ran in February a new, highly successful online pathway. She must have had a crystal ball. All formats have been incredibly successful, with colleagues inspired and enthused by getting the recognition they deserve. Lindsay has been really creative, but also empathetic, ensuring that pathways meet people's needs.
I've nominated members of the policing team for their creativity. We've been blessed for a number of years with fantastic facilities in policing, such as the Hydra Suite, and this year the team has really pulled out all the stops. Team members have used their own research, feedback from students and feedback from the police forces we work with to create some challenging, innovative and very enjoyable immersive learning experiences for our students.
We decided to nominate Emma for this award because she's been absolutely amazing over the past few months. We've been through quite a tough couple of years with the threat of restructure hanging over us and an ever-increasing workload. And then at the start of 2020, when coronavirus hit, Emma suddenly found herself in the position of comms lead for the university. So this meant attending lots more ops groups, feeding back on how the university should be responding to the pandemic, and it just went from being an issue on our crisis radar to full-blown university lockdown in the space of a few weeks. So she just took on this all-consuming challenge with such a positive attitude and just really kept us all going throughout. She also manages most of us in the comms team, and she just takes on this workload with a smile on her face, and it really helps us keep going as a team. We all feel really fortunate to have come through this difficult time, and a lot of it's down to Emma's support and guidance. She's a shining example of how to manage a team, and we're just really, really proud of her.
I've nominated Andrea for the Inspiring Colleague Stars Award because she truly is an inspiration both to myself and countless other members of staff across the institution, and has been for many years. Despite us both working in academic registry, I've only had the pleasure of working directly with Andrea over the last 6 months, when we were asked to join part of a small working group looking at the facilitation and implementation of the no detriment approach, ensuring no students were disadvantaged by the recent pandemic. Andrea's work ethic during this time was phenomenal. She truly inspired me, and she's thoroughly enhanced my own working practices as a result. Her management and leadership is second to none. If ever there's a job that needs doing or a problem that needs solving, Andrea's your woman. She's absolutely fantastic and thoroughly deserves to be recognised by the institution for all the hard work she has done.
I think at a time when COVID broke, we were all a bit of a quandary. With complete professionalism and calmness, they moved us all online, produced documents in razor sharp time in terms of assessment and learning and teaching. I produced similar roadmaps myself, and I know how difficult they are to produce, and the speed at which they did it was really impressive. This then just carried on, and they produced, their deal online assessment and teaching for all of us, as well as all the courses and the MOOCs that were implemented with what seemed like consummate ease. I obviously did the deal course, thoroughly enjoyed it, and as someone who's used this technology for 10 years, I'd have to say everything was where it was supposed to be. I can only speak about Elizabeth Jones as our CES TEL faculty rep, but I know Carl and the rest of the team, and I know how professional and outstanding they are. I think the overriding thing that I would take away from this difficult time for all of us was the ease with which we were able to move online for staff who maybe hadn't wanted to buy into it previously. It was made very easy for all of us to do so, and I can't recommend this team more strongly with the support that they've shown to all of us.
I've been working alongside Chris for the last 4.5 years, and during this time Chris has always shown a high level of professionalism, dedication, which has been noticed right across the university. Chris's relationship between the departments and faculties is a massive asset to the Estates and Facilities Department. Over the past 6 months during the current COVID pandemic, Chris has exceeded in his role and has gone above and beyond to ensure the safety of our staff, students and visitors. Chris has been pivotal in creating a new systems of work to help departments, faculties and students during the COVID restrictions. Some of these systems include booking on staff, allowing them to come onto campus to collect items, as well as Chris has also put in a system in place to allow the students that remained in halls during the university close down to be able to come and collect their mail on a timed basis. Chris is a true example of the university's core values, and I'm proud to work alongside Chris.
I've nominated the Research and Infrastructure team because, quite frankly, they are the epitome of professionalism. They've got a can-do attitude, they get everything sorted out on time and with incredible kindness to our colleagues. We have governance processes that are absolutely safe for the university, and this cannot be underestimated. REF is an enormous, complicated piece of work, and the team have done, just frankly, superb work in relation to keeping us on target, keeping us on track, managing all of the systems that sit underneath that and have to be connected together. It is, quite frankly, an amazing piece of work, and this team really are just blowing me away with their professionalism around that. And also, no good doing the good research unless we can market it properly. So this has also been immeasurably improved over the last 12-18 months or so. For those just few reasons, this is why I nominate the Research Infrastructure team.
And I've put forward what we called in the end our International Rescue Team for the Responsive Team of the Year Award. Slightly different, but you'll soon find out why. I'm nominating this team because the team of academic, technical and professional staff and what they did in very exceptional circumstances just epitomised to me the responsive core value of the university. When the pandemic erupted in the UK back in March, seems a long time ago now, we had a group of students and staff who were stranded in Botswana on fieldwork. Whilst we've been closely monitoring the situation, it suddenly required a very rapid response from the team in Botswana and at the University of South Wales as the borders closed. The actions, the coordination of activities and the dedication for which the staff worked all hours showed how responsive staff can be to work professionally and collaboratively together to ensure the safe return of our students. This mattered to me because the health, safety and welfare of our staff and students is of paramount importance. The incident really demonstrated to me what a great team of staff we have working in the school and the faculty. The lengths they were prepared to go to work, and how they responded quickly and collaboratively was just extraordinary. Everybody had their own roles, but the efforts were professionally coordinated to ensure a successful outcome for everybody. It was pleasing to also receive confirmation of their efforts from our students, who were particularly thankful for the promptness for responses to recall them from the field, and the communication and reassurance they provided to students' families regarding the arrangements. There was a strong sense that the International Rescue Team just went above and beyond and took great care in managing what was a very stressful situation for all. I'd like to thank, but I'd sort of like to finish with, I do think the following summarises the efforts of all. This is from Ben Calvert, our Deputy Vice-Chancellor, who commented on the safe return of everybody. I've been absolutely humbled by the combined efforts to protect the interests of our students. I'm hugely appreciative.
We learned that the borders to South Africa were closing and there were going to be restrictions on travel back to the UK. And Sarah was absolutely brilliant. She worked around the clock really through a weekend, organising flights, organising hotels, so that these students could return safely to the UK. Things changed all the time. We got different information from the party that was in South Africa, and Sarah responded to that, changed the arrangements, and about 3 days later everybody was safely back in the UK, and we just couldn't have done that without Sarah's contribution.
Over the years I've learned a huge amount from Vaughan. We've been involved in student casework and day-to-day dealing with student problems, and the counsel and wisdom he's given me and also the assistance has just been brilliant. It's because of his responsiveness, not just the students but the staff and the community, you know, in a couple of what have been very challenging years. His good judgment, his empathy in dealing with, you know, situations that are very challenging has been invaluable over the past couple of years, and he helps you resolve stuff with an honesty and a wisdom that leaves everyone clear the fairness of what's been agreed. There's probably not space or time here to talk about his wider work, but his stuff around equality, diversity and difference, all the talks he does, the events, the gatherings, there are so many and varied, and the work he's done at the Meeting House is just brilliant. He's taught me you should never stop learning, not just in a traditional sense, but emotionally in your treatment of others. Finally, I've got to say, he's the only person still present who can refer to me as Hugh Bach without a hint of irony.
They have been through some significant challenges over the last year, and under Natalie's leadership, they have responded professionally and collaboratively to deliver the best possible service and outcome. This has been particularly visible over recent months, with the need to respond to the pandemic challenges. The team have worked tirelessly with colleagues across the university to ensure that staff and students are supported not only with equipment and software, but with help and support. I know that without their help, my department and my staff would not have been able to continue providing our services as promptly and easily as we were able. Their collaborative approach and their attitude has shone through, and nothing has been too big an ask. I know they've also had some serious challenges to deal with, from security challenges, a water leak, and other things too. And I know that there's been some seriously long hours going in behind the scenes. They are really engaging with faculties and departments to understand and to communicate impacts, to discuss reprioritisation of activities, and all of this is being done in a collaborative way. So we are all working towards the same goals.
I nominated the Community of Expertise simulation for the most collaborative person or team stars recognition award because the successes that the Community of Expertise has had and the positive impact on students' learning are entirely down to the amazing way that these staff, many of whom were complete strangers 2 years ago, have shared ideas, struggles, questions and solutions in their area of expertise, which is simulation. In a short space of time, the community has showcased USW simulation at a major international conference, set up cross-university opportunities for students to act as simulation models, and helped each other develop authentic simulation. Their ambitions for this year include the production of USW simulation principles and running a conference. The network is flying because genuine collaboration is at its heart.
The practice placement team in Care Sciences has been fantastic, and it's been a model of collaborative practice that's had the student experience at its very heart. The COVID situation has placed a lot of stress and anxiety on lots of people, and our students were permitted via a change in the Nursing and Midwifery Council regulations to undertake more placement than normal, and that placed stress on the team to place as many students as they could in accordance with that change in regulations. The students were very anxious, they were concerned, and very understandably 6 months ago we didn't know what we were going to be dealing with in relation to this crisis. And they provided so much good quality information which was completely focused on what the students needed, and it really helped to allay a lot of their anxieties, and it really helped to ensure that when they were going out on practice they knew what to expect, and they were facilitated in a really professional and responsive and supportive way. It's been a model of excellent collaboration.
The Professional Services Forum was developed to provide an opportunity for staff to come together physically and virtually to aid collaboration and communication across services with students at its heart. As a member of faculty learning, teaching and enhancement committees, where professional services provide updates on their work, Linda identified that departments often duplicate efforts or work at cross purposes. Due to an unprecedented level of change over the last few years, collaborating on projects, even with a successful network, was becoming more difficult. In March 2019, Linda set up a forum to develop a community of professional services staff which engaged their voices through their shared passion to holistically enhance services to improve the student experience, with the values of collaboration and communication at its core. Linda developed a new structure for the forums which would encourage discussion and collaboration and become a platform staff could use to communicate key updates. Linda developed a new structure for the forums, which would encourage discussion and collaboration and become a platform staff could use to communicate key updates about the work of their teams. The model was designed to help staff feel more connected and recognise that their voice was being sought and valued by the wider university. All aspects of the forum are shared virtually as well as physically and facilitate a number of different structured discussion types. The forum creates impact by gathering colleagues from across USW's professional services to drive positive change through sharing ideas, gaining different perspectives, and forging collaborative working. In 2018, IT staff looked for solutions for multi-factor authentication for staff and student IT accounts to provide another layer of security which strengthens login. Phil Edmonds helped to test authentication methods and plan the rollout activities for all staff accounts. A difficult activity due to the variety of mobile devices, short timeline for delivery, and some of the resistance and misconceptions with staff about what the project was trying to achieve. Neil Price provided drop-in clinics across all sites over a 4-week period, was available online for video walkthroughs, and spoke to 250 staff personally to support them through the process. The two-factor authentication project is part of the IT security programme to enhance USW protection and raise awareness with staff and students against cyber threats. Over the past few years, USW has experienced a few debilitating cyber attacks, taking staff away from their posts for a number of weeks and months. The university can receive up to 1 million phishing emails per week, putting us at significant risk for information security breaches and possible reputational risk or financial loss. The IT Service Desk has supported an additional 717 calls since the project started in September, the majority of which of supporting nervous and frustrated staff through the process and troubleshooting issues with their devices. Since completion of the project, there have been no phishing incidents which have been delivered directly to staff accounts, which has reduced the risk to staff accounts and information security. This has and will continue to save significant staff time in the investigation and resolution of the attacks, and for our staff in not being inconvenienced or stressed from being subject to cyber attacks or being locked out of their IT accounts.
It's a test that Jeroen and I have been working on for about 3 years now for the diagnosis of urinary tract infections, but we realised fairly early on in the current pandemic that it was completely applicable to detecting COVID-19 as well. And then we read a couple of publications where other groups had been thinking along similar lines, so we took their ideas and kind of modified them for our own test and quickly got involved with NHS and the local health board and have been able to develop the test, optimise the test and evaluate its performance in a really short space of time. We're currently again working with the local health board to evaluate the performance of our test without sample processing directly from the swab to show that that can perform as well as the official test.
The first stage we're doing is that the swabbing will happen and we still run the test within our lab, but in the longer term, if it means that we can actually run the test within the community, that's going to be very, very important. After the lockdown, we still need to be able to find out where the hospitals are. We still need to be able to be confident that people, working in care settings are safe.
We already have a prototype that we've been developing for the last couple of years, so we have that to test, and we're in talks with local manufacturing and design companies about making more of those prototypes. So it is realistic to think that within 2 or 3 weeks we can have the first prototype ready for proper testing in these settings, and then scale up after that really depends on how quickly we can get these things optimised in manufacturing. One of the things that drives me is this desire to make a difference, and I really feel like science can do that, but a lot of the time it doesn't quite get there. So it's actually really exciting because a lot of the normal barriers that are there are just not, and everyone's being really supportive and working together and collaborating to try and answer this one massive global problem we have at the moment. I wish science was like this all the time because it shows how much you can achieve in such a short space of time. It's really exciting.
My nomination is in relation to employability. It's quite a challenge to find sufficient good quality work placements for our accounting and finance undergrads, and also, interestingly, it would appear that many students do not wish to take up a work placement during their studies. But we do appreciate the importance of embedding and the need to embed employability into our courses. So I've been working with a number of business partners across the region, both public and private sector, to discuss research opportunities. From this collaboration, I have created a whole host of live projects, which the students then complete in their teams of 2 and 3. They have to perform research into a very current business topic and issue, and also present the report to the company in a much more user-friendly manner, with a focus on reader engagement and less is more. And both the research and the reporting are very different to the traditional academic styles, and great for developing those transferable skills. So overall, a really beneficial experience for both the students and for USW in terms of promoting those business collaborations.
The National Cybersecurity Academy is an innovative project created by the University of South Wales and the Welsh Government 4 years ago with the intention of addressing the cyber skills shortage currently we are experiencing. The academy model provided the opportunity for our students to develop both areas of employability and technical skills. However, we have noticed that it did not strongly focus on the supportive environment to bring their talent forward by building their confidence, problem-solving skills, and critical decision making, which are crucial to work in the industry today.
In order to enhance these transformational skills, we developed an immersive learning space for students to experiment within a strictly sandboxed environment. And some students took ownership of the space, creating a standalone computer network. This facility was used for outreach events, and students took responsibility for running and developing sessions, as well as establishing a cyber society. Students also volunteered for other cybersecurity awareness raising activities, such as Cybersecurity Month last October. We've also built a Security Operations Training Centre, or SOC, for our students to gain experience in responding to a cybersecurity breach by simulating real-world cybersecurity-related incident handling exercises. And last year, the SOC conducted the first cyber attack simulation and incident response exercise in conjunction with industry partners. We also successfully introduced the Faculty Past Mentoring Scheme last year, with past mentors able to support students during lockdown. And we continue to build our learning community in partnership with our students, with more signing up as mentors and ambassadors, including peer sessions delivered to new starters during induction week.
I'm Hugh Williams and I'm the event manager for the Immerse Festival this year. It's something that we're putting together with the university and on our course, the Proper and Commercial course. We're trying to promote local bands in Cardiff and also opportunity for them to play with big acts like Richard Ashcroft and Tom Grennan. Also, it's a way of showcasing what we've got on our course as well and our ability.
So this is the first time that any of us have done anything like this. I've never programmed a festival before. I don't know if I'll ever program one again, who knows what's in the future, but I've literally had to learn everything from the ground up. There's a lot of university artists who currently might not even have a presence. We're giving them a really good opportunity to get themselves out there. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you've got Richard Ashcroft, Tom Grennan and Bad Salmons, who obviously they don't need us as a platform, but they're there to support our cause.
We're basically focusing on introducing a lot of the unknown artists, because usually on festivals they post about the big artists to be able to sell tickets, but we want to give a platform for new artists as well.
We kind of want to showcase the diversity of music within Cardiff.
So this course it's not just about performing, it's about kind of who you are as an individual, as a performer, as an organiser, as kind of whatever you want to be in terms of business or performance.
Yeah, I'd say you don't need to know what you want to do in the music industry when you join the course. You just need to know you like music and know you want to work in the music industry, and then the course kind of helps you decide where you want to go from there.
It's been massive. It's probably the best thing I've done on the course, really. What surprised me is that a university degree has allowed me to be so hands-on in the real world. It's been great for learning loads of new skills. I can see myself doing something like this in the future in terms of like event managing. It's kind of changed my perspective of what I want to do in my future.
Helo, Shwai, Prynawn da, croeso I fy studio I yn y rath yng Nghaerdydd, Lloyd George yma. I'm here today because I've been nominated for the Stars Award by my line manager. I'm also presenting to you through the medium of Blackboard Collaborate Ultra that we're all kind of getting used to, and in fact something that I've been using for quite a while, embedding those deal principles that we all signed up to over the summer. So look, I'm here because we did this amazing festival which would have been a disaster with the COVID and how it affected our multi-platform, multi-venue festival that had to go online, and thanks to the consultation with my students and they're wanting to actually demonstrate what they were capable of. We avoided in many ways the no detriment rule, which was there, but they did this tremendous work. We reached 43,000 people around the world, 26,000 live video interactions, 8,500 live interactions with some of the individual events. It's all their work. If I was to receive this award, it's not my award, it's theirs, and I'll be claiming it on their behalf.
Policing is a challenging and complex profession, and arguably it's one of the most challenging of professions, particularly when one considers the role of the police service in the 21st century. An example of how we have integrated assessments within modules, our students have just completed a 2-week simulation activity. Overall, the exercise begins by students responding to a report of a missing child, then are involved in a Hydra exercise. So our students need to review CCTV footage, they will need to do house-to-house inquiries, they will also need to be liaising with media. As the inquiry develops and grows, our students will have a number of key suspects that they want to speak with, and then they have to then leave the Hydra exercise and then go to the crime scene house and actually effect the arrest of that suspect. As a course, we're very keen to provide our students with an experience that's holistic, authentic, and meets the real world demands and complexities of police work. So we're very, very keen to ensure that our students get the best possible education so that when they leave here, they can do the best possible job.
So it's just for me to say, at the end of this award ceremony, thank you to everybody who's helped put this together, who's helped with the administration of the awards, everybody who's nominated somebody and taken the time to do that and recognise their peers, and of course all of the nominees for all of the awards today. It's been a fantastic event. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. And as I said earlier on, when I introduced the event, I look forward to a time where I can get together with you, shake hands and say well done. Congratulations everybody.